Many people argue about what the most important political issue of our day is. Some say it's abortion, others say it's immigration or the national debt. But the truth is, while all those issues are very important, in 2024, the most important issue on the ballot is foreign policy. In 2024, we must choose a president who can lead us through the fourth American fourth turning. We may face a civil war. We may face another world war. With the wrong leadership, we may face an all-out nuclear war. We need a president who can handle these times, and no candidate can do this better than President Donald J. Trump.
9 months is a long time. You have a very good chance in that period of time of having World War III.
A nuclear war could break out. We are staring over the precipice of that nuclear brink now, more than ever before.
This is bigger than Ukraine. This is a war about freedom, and it's one we have to win.
And you take out a couple of their leaders. That's the way
in
you
their
start.
country?
You figure out where they are. Our special operations can do that. And then you take them out. That will send a message. We've got to do this immediately.
Apply those to protect our homeland, Nikki.
Israel
That is
needs
the answer.
America. America needs Israel.
Okay.
Barbarism wins here. Europe will be next. America will be next.
Iran is sucking us into a massive world war.
Here's fellow neocon Lindsey Graham just spelling it out and calling for the bombing of Iran.
I've been saying for 6 months now, hit Iran. They have oil fields out in the open. They have the Revolutionary Guard headquarters you can see from space. Blow it off the map.
Iran already has nuclear weapons.
If you want a war with us, bring it on. We'll blow you off the friggin' map.
Iran already has nuclear weapons.
What exactly would happen to the United States if we declared war on Iran and started blowing up their infrastructure?
Iran already has nuclear weapons.
Lindsey Graham has no clue what would happen. He hasn't thought it through. He's almost 70 years old and he has no children. He doesn't care.
And the Russians are dying. It's the best money we've ever spent.
Wars beget more war. The bigger the conflict, the uglier and longer lasting the consequences.
Any attack on one member is an attack on all of its members.
Nuclear war in World War III could be imminent. Total destruction of the planet.
Holy shit. Our world today is a powder keg. Our fate balances on a knife's edge. In Europe, due to our involvement with NATO, we face the possibility of an all-out war with Russia, a nuclear superpower, in defense of a corrupt country that is not our ally, that has robbed the American people blind. In the Middle East, Israel is at war with Palestine, and the neocons in Congress are calling for an all-out war with Iran, another country that may now have nukes.
Iran already has nuclear weapons.
In the East, North Korea has fired missiles over Japan, and China is preparing itself for the possible invasion of Taiwan. Here at home, we face the highest levels of polarization since the Civil War, and a bifurcation of morality that has no parallel in modern times. We face an unprecedented invasion at the southern border, and a federal government who would rather go into conflict with Texas than secure that border. We face an irrational neoliberal interventionalist uniparty in Congress, and an incompetent man in the Oval Office as Commander-in-Chief. Other issues are important. Yes, I don't want to diminish that. The mass slaughter of children in the womb is the gravest moral issue of our day. And if we don't fix our immigration system soon, we will face a point of no return. But none of that matters if we're all dead. None of that matters if all our youth are sent to die in foreign lands. None of that matters if America becomes a nuclear wasteland. The doomsday clock, popularized during the Cold War, is closer now than it has ever been to striking midnight. Midnight meaning apocalypse. We are closer now to nuclear war than at any point during the Cold War. In November of 2022, a missile landed in Poland, a close NATO ally. President Zelensky of Ukraine immediately accused Russia of sending the bomb. The implications of this meaning that all of NATO would have to respond in full military force to defend Poland, our ally, against a belligerent Russia. Neocons in our Congress cried that we must strike Russia now. But after a day's investigation, it was discovered that the bomb was not Russian, but Ukrainian. Ukraine had tried to pull us into World War III under false pretenses, and the Biden administration almost bought it. Ukraine deceived us, and has still not admitted any fault, but we continue to send them billions anyway. In 2024, Joe Biden represents a continuation of the status quo, a continuation of the policies of George Bush and Barack Obama, a continuation of failed wars of US hegemony, a continuation of military failure and disgrace, a continuation of our involvement in endless foreign wars, wars to defeat Russia and defend Israel, wars to denounce other cultures in the name of liberal democracy. Republican challenger Nikki Haley represents all the same failed policies of Biden, but dialed up to 11. She would guarantee us a third world war. Donald Trump, on the contrary, offers a vision of peace. Not the liberal, hippie peace of the 1960s and 70s, but peace through strength. For 4 years, during his first administration, the United States engaged in no new military conflicts. The first president in 70 years not to draw the US into new foreign wars. Instead, Trump projected strength and pushed others into submission. He spoke boldly and carried a big stick, yet worked hard not to use it. His administration efficiently ended the war with ISIS. He obliterated the terrorist organization and killed their leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, making a mockery of the terrorist death.
He died like a dog. He died like a coward. He was whimpering, screaming, and crying. And frankly, I think it's something that should be brought out so that his followers, they should see how he died. He didn't die a hero. He died a coward.
His advisors said it would take him 3 years to defeat ISIS, so he found others who could get it done in a matter of months. He showed unorthodox speed and efficiency in getting the job done. This show of strength proved that the Trump administration meant business. Trump continued to show strength through meetings with Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, and even Kim Jong-un, the first president in American history to step foot on North Korean soil. He brokered peace in the Middle East through the Abraham Accords, and he eased tensions with Mexico by closing our southern border. America's strength fueled global stability through confidence. Yet within months of Trump leaving office, Biden's administration managed to destroy the confidence abroad which Trump had built. This return to normalcy, this return to globalism as usual, President Obama's administration returning with a new figurehead, was accompanied by a return to incompetence. The Biden regime's withdrawal from Afghanistan marked the first foreign policy blunder of the new administration, this first domino to fall in a series of unfortunate events. After 20 years in the desert sands, Biden announced an abrupt withdrawal. We were leaving Afghanistan at last, but we left in the worst way possible. They evacuated military personnel first, leaving behind $7 billion of military equipment like tanks and attack helicopters, which fell into the hands of the Taliban. Within 10 days, the Taliban had acquired the equipment and reconquered the entire country. 20 years of fighting undone in 10 days, a complete international embarrassment. Seeing the incompetence of the new regime, Russia decided it was time to take action against its greatest threat, Ukraine. The possibility of Ukraine joining NATO was an imminent threat to Russia, the same as if Mexico were to join a military alliance with China. So by invading Ukraine, Russia prevented them from joining the anti-Russian NATO alliance. After Afghanistan, it was clear the American regime would not fight back. And Russia was right. All we did was fund a failing military in Ukraine. Instead of showing strength and brokering a peace deal, we spent billions of US taxpayer dollars to help Ukraine send all of its men to slaughter against the Russian war machine. 2 years later, people are still under the delusion that Ukraine can win this war, while its population continues to suffer and die. Biden's second foreign policy blunder. In the rest of the Middle East, the Afghanistan debacle rang loudly, as the US was no longer seen as an imminent threat. Iran reinstated its nuclear program, now no longer threatened by Trump's sanctions. Hamas felt emboldened to attack Israel, knowing US retaliation was unlikely due to Biden's weak leadership. Now Houthi rebels attack US ships, and Biden's leadership will lead us into another war. Another unapproved war with no strategic plan. Biden speaks not like a bold leader, but like an angry tyrant, and he's carried no big stick to back it up. He left our big stick on the battlefield in Afghanistan, and he depleted our military, sending all of our weapon stockpiles over to Ukraine. Now our weakness has emboldened China, which could invade Taiwan at a moment's notice. After Taiwan's recent elections electing an anti-Chinese communist government, war seems increasingly more likely. Taiwan, the source of the vast majority of our microchips, the building blocks of our modern technology, has the ability to cripple the US if that microchip technology stops coming over. By controlling Taiwan and threatening a trade embargo, China would effectively control our ability to produce technology. Until a time when America can produce its own microchips again, this is one of the few allies that truly align with our own interests to protect right now. Yet we are spread so thin and have such incompetent leadership that a US military operation to defend Taiwan could likely end in our defeat, the repercussions of which would be unimaginable. The alliance of Russia and China is also a real threat. It is also an avoidable threat. Instead of handling that threat strategically, instead of trying to break apart an already weak alliance, an alliance only held together by anti-American sentiments, not shared common goals, Biden's regime has done everything possible to demonize both countries and push these world powers into a closer alliance that threatens America's position on the globe. An alliance that could push us closer to a nuclear war than ever before. In 2024, we need to re-elect President Donald J. Trump back to the White House. We need him to restore peace through strength. We need him to restore order to our situation abroad so that we can return our focus to solving our failing situation here at home. We need to put America first again, because it is a choice between America first and America destroyed. If you want peace, if you want prosperity, if you want a future, vote for President Donald J. Trump in November. Or don't vote at all. Our future depends on it. America first. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and share the video with a friend. And if you want to hear more about President Trump's agenda for 2024, click the video link on screen now. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and God bless.
It's going to be only America first. America first.